All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. And I have a doozy of a decode for you guys today. Now this decode is very interesting when it comes to, well, first off, let me start by saying that if you guys are not familiar with the other channel that I've been um, following, and also following his things and doing and basically taking his information and also adding my own spins to it, and trying to help show more clues as to how these things will happen. So if you guys are unfamiliar, that this channel is named Jurassic Liars, Elvis Seattle 611, Trump 84 Ohio. And the whole premise, if you guys don't know, the whole premise of his predictions is that there will be two events that are tied to Elvis and Trump. And the reason he says Elvis and Trump is because he believes that Elvis, so when Elvis was born, he had a twin who died at birth. Okay. And basically, Trump is his replacement twin. Okay. And I just want to give a big shout out to Jurassic here. I'm not taking his information without giving him credit. He's doing an absolutely great job, and he's put me on to a lot of amazing clues. And I'm going to show you even more interesting things with Trump here in this video. But I just want to preface this by giving him a big shout out. Now, again, he says that there will be an event on 6/11 in Seattle, and it will have to do with Elvis. Because remember, guys, Elvis had he did a movie about the Space Needle. It happens at the World's Fair where the Space Needle came up, and he was also the first person, Elvis was, to get the vaccine on Bill Gates' birthday in 1956. And again, this is a space needle, right? A needle like a vaccine. And Trump was the one who, was responsible for Operation Warp Speed and the vaccines, declaring the pandemic, all that stuff. And Trump is the twin, the replacement twin for the twin that died at Elvis's birth. Notice they kind of look alike. Now, Trump, well, the prediction from him is that Trump will get an attempted assassination on 8/4, August 4th, in Ohio. And if you guys want to know all his reasons why, you have to go watch a lot of his videos to understand. But I'm going to connect some dots for a lot of those who are already aware of a lot of this information. But anyways, those are the two events. You got 6/11 in Seattle for Elvis, and you got 8/4 in Ohio for Trump. Now, let me start off by showing you guys how I stumbled across this amazing number. And the number I'm going to talk about this whole video is the number 888, the triple eight. And I'm going to show you how the 888 is tied to Trump and Elvis all the way through. And yeah, so anyway, let's get into it. The first thing I want, this is the reason I was able to stumble across this information, okay? So Elvis died in 1977 on August 16th. August 16th. And Trump, okay, remember, Trump and Elvis, the twins. Again, Elvis got the first vaccine on live TV. Trump was responsible for the vaccine, Operation Warp Speed, okay? And the pandemic. Well, here's the date the pandemic was declared. 3/11/2020 by Trump, okay? And if you go 888 days, you're going to land on Elvis's death date, or his anniversary of his death date, which was August 16th, 2022, which is coming up next month. Exactly a month from now, because today is July 16th. So you have 888 days from Trump's declaration to Elvis's anniversary of his death. So there's your 888, and I'm going to weave all these 888s together as we go through. I also want you to pay attention to the day that Elvis died, the 228, the 228th day of the year, okay? And so that number is going to come up a few more times. Now, another thing that we need to know. So there's that 888. From the time Trump announces the pandemic, declares the pandemic, to the anniversary of Elvis's death is 888 days. Now, let me show you that if you measure from Trump's birthday, okay, which is 6/14, and you go 888 days, okay, into the future from Trump's birthday, Actually, if you go, sorry guys, if you go back 888 days, because what I'm trying to show you is that if you go back 888 days from Trump's birthday, you're going to get 1/8. Now, why is the 1/8 important? Well, because Elvis, let me just show you guys. Elvis, he was born on 1/8. So again, I just showed you that from the time that Trump declared the pandemic to Elvis's death anniversary is 888 days, and from Trump's birthday, 888 days back is Elvis's birthday. 888 days. Okay? And I'm going to show you how the gematria ties into this in a minute. But I've already got two instances where the 888 is important between Elvis and Trump. Okay? So the next thing is if you go from Elvis's birthday and you go forward 800, or if you go back 888 days from Elvis's birthday, so let's do that. Sorry if it's taking a while, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I get this. You're going to get 8-4. Okay? So here's the thing, guys. Remember, Jurassic's prediction is that Trump will get a head wound, but he won't die, just like the Revelation. The Revelation where the beast gets a head wound, but he doesn't die, right? On 8-4. Remember, this is Barack Obama's birthday, 8-4. And Obama's tied to this too. But so I just showed you guys that if you go from Trump's birthday and you go back 888 days, you land on Elvis's birthday. And if you go back 888 days from Elvis's birthday, you end on Trump's day that he might get a head wound. Okay? And that's Obama's birthday. So these three men are tied together with the 888. Okay? And notice, that, and what did I just show you before about Trump declared the pandemic on March 11th, 2020, 888 days forward is Elvis's death date, August 16th. So there's three 888s tied to this prediction, which is why I think he's onto something. Obviously, there's a lot more reasons why than just this, but I think he's really onto something. And now I'm going to show you how the 888 is tied to Donald Trump and how the 888 in the gematria is so important with this whole decode. So here we go, guys. Just look at this stuff. Like, this is the most mind-blowing stuff you're going to find, all right? The very first piece of information you guys need to know is that Donald J. Trump, which you see his name written like that a lot because his middle name is John, but sometimes you'll see his name Donald J. Trump equals 888 in Sumerian. This is the only number I'm going to talk about. I just showed you all the 888s in the date measurements. And now you have Donald J. Trump equals 888. Okay, so now let's do a little investigating. What does the name Donald mean? Because this is where my mind was blown. Because the name Donald, okay, I'm going to show you. If you look it up, the name Donald, right here, Donald, is a masculine name given and derived from Gaelic name Domhnall. This comes from the Pro-Celtic meaning world wielder or world ruler. So again, think about this, guys. World wielder and world ruler. Okay, and Trump was a president. He was a world ruler. All right, but the name I want to focus on here with the 888 is the world wielder. And why is that important? Because the name Donald that means world wielder. I just showed you that Donald J. Trump, his name with his middle initial equals 888. And if you take his name, Donald, it means world wielder, and it equals 888. Again, not a coincidence, guys. His first name, Donald, means world wielder, and it equals 888. Okay, and Trump wrote a book called The Art of the Deal. And guess what, guys? That equals 888. Okay? So there's three things right there tied to Trump in the 888. I just showed you the measurements between Elvis and Trump, all right? And now let me talk about triple eights, because if you type in the word triple eights, which is what 888 is, it equals 888, all right? And Trump is known for being in South Florida. And let me show you an article, if I can find it here. Donald Trump speaks to supporters in South Florida. And he had a tour, a Trump American Freedom Tour in Sunrise. That's in South Florida. Again, former president headlines the American Freedom Tour in South Florida. All right? And remember, I just showed you that South Florida equals 888. All right? Now, let's jump to the real crazy stuff. Because time traveler equals 888. And Trump is tied to Back to the Future. Okay? In the movie Back to the Future, the speed that the car needs to go at is 88 miles an hour. And what does Trump equal in gematria, guys? Trump equals 88. Remember, I'm talking about all the 888s, and now I'm talking about the 88. But again, the time machine in the movie Back to the Future needs to go 88 miles an hour to time travel. Okay? Again, not a coincidence, considering all time traveler in Sumerian equals 888. Now, another thing to go with the 88 is the Cleveland Indians. Now remember, guys, the prediction is that Trump will get a head wound in Ohio, where Cleveland, Ohio is. All right? And Cleveland, Ohio has a team called the Cleveland Indians, who recently changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians. All right? But Cleveland Indians equals 888. All right? And the 216 area code is Cleveland. And remember, August 4th is the 216th day of the year. Right here, guys. August 4th, the 216th day of the year. Cleveland's area code is 216. And Donald Trump, the prediction from Jurassic is that Donald Trump will get a head wound in Ohio. He doesn't specifically state Cleveland, but it would make sense for Cleveland, right? Remember, LeBron James is from Cleveland. Steph Curry's from Cleveland. There's so many people from Cleveland. Now, again, 8-4 is the 216th day of the year. All right? And remember, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Now, why is this Cleveland Indians important? Well, if you go over and you look at the Cleveland Indians, and the reason they changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians, remember, they changed their name from the Cleveland Indians because it was offensive, and they just this year changed their name to the Guardians. All right? And again, there's a lot of Freemason symbol here with the G, right? But what I really want to point out is the reason they changed their name is in reference to the Guardians of Traffic, which is an 8 monolithic 1932 Art Deco sculpture that's in Cleveland on the Hope Memorial Bridge. So again, this is in reference to the name Guardians of Traffic, like time traveler, like the 88, the time machine. Guardians of Traffic. Now let me show you what Guardians of Traffic equals in gematria. Again, it equals 88. Remember, Trump equals 88, and Guardians of Traffic, which is the name of the new name for the Cleveland Indians, is named after, and that also equals 88. Okay? So you have Trump equaling 88. You have the Guardians of Traffic that the team's named after, 88. You have the former team's name equals 888, like Donald J. Trump, like Donald, the name Donald means world leader, that equals 888. Donald's book equals 888. Triple eights equals 888. South Florida, where Trump is stationed at a lot, equals 888. Okay? Now, two more things I want to talk about. Recently, we had the Georgia Guidestones go down. Okay? And they went down on July 6th. And they went down after a meme was posted of Trump blowing them up. There was a meme posted a couple days before of Trump blowing up the Georgia Guidestones. And the Georgia Guidestones went down on July 6th. If you type July 6th out, you get 888. Okay? Again, I don't think that's a coincidence, guys. And again, what just happened? They just went down, and some big things are on the horizon. Now, also, another thing I want to bring up about the 888 is the "Don't Tread on Me" flag that you always see at Trump rallies. Now, remember, at the at the supposedly at the Capitol riot, the "Don't Tread on Me" flag was widely flown. Okay, here it is, and it says "Don't tread on me," and it has the snake, right? Well, again, guys, "Don't tread on me" equals 888. So these are all tied to Trump. I just showed you before how all the 888s are tied to Trump and Elvis, okay? And I talked about the time travel. I talked about the Cleveland Indians in Ohio, where Trump might get his head wound, all right? And again, all tied to Elvis and Seattle. Remember, also, guys, another thing I want to talk about with Seattle here is that if you type in the Emerald City, which is a nickname for Seattle, okay, let me show you. The Emerald City equals 888. Also, guys, there's a lot of words that equal 888, but I'm just making out the most important ones. So again, you have the nickname for Seattle equaling 888, again, tied to the Trump and the Elvis events. Okay? Next 611 and this coming 84, or maybe next 84. Remember, it's really important because Trump's wife just died, okay? And Trump and his wife his ex-wife just died, Ivania, and Ivania and Trump divorced on 3/22, Skull and Bones Day, and that was the same day the Georgia Guidestones were put up, and the Georgia Guidestones just went down, and now you have the death of his wife that he divorced on the same day the Georgia Guidestones went up. Okay? So again, let me rephrase that. Donald Trump, his ex-wife just died. They divorced on 3/22. The Georgia Guidestones that went down on July 6th were put up on 3/22. So you have her dying, and you have the Georgia Guidestones going down in the same time frame. Okay? Now, another thing I really wanted to point out here is what about the other presidents that have been assassinated? Now, again, Trump's not going to die from this, according to Jurassic's theory. But, let's just speculate about the other two presidents who have been assassinated with head wounds. All right. The first is John F. Kennedy. Okay. He was assassinated on 11/22. Now, if you go 111 days forward or backwards, you get 8/4, which is the day that the prediction is supposed to take place. All right. Now, if you go from when Abraham Lincoln, the other president, all right, he was assassinated on 4/15. Now, if you go forward 111 days, just like you went back, if you go back 111 days from Kennedy assassination on the calendar, you get 111 days, and you get 8/4. If you go forward from Abraham Lincoln's assassination 111 days, you also get 8/4. So what I'm saying is that 8/4 lies right in the middle of the two presidents that were assassinated, right? Lincoln and Kennedy. And remember, we just had the assassination of a former Japanese prime minister whose last name was Abe, right? Okay. So again, there's so much here to talk about, but I just wanted to bring up all these 888s. And to me, it's very clear that Trump is tied to the 888 and that he's tied to Elvis, because remember, I just showed you all the 888 date durations. If you go back at the beginning of the video, you guys will see what I'm talking about. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to go over this really crazy information I stumbled across. This was a really fun video to do, and it's a little bit different than my other videos, but I absolutely think that Jurassic is onto something. I want to give him credit where credit's due. He does some great work. There's so many good decoders out there. Go give them all some love and support the community. Support people that are trying to share the truth and trying to be creative with it also at the same time. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one.